At the deepest level, reality is not made of matter. It's, as many of you know, made of energy. Every particle, atom, and molecules emerges from a vast invisible field of pure potential. Quantum physics calls this the quantum field, a non-local, unified sea of energy and information. It's where all possibilities exist, and it's influenced by observation. The famous double-slit experiment revealed that particles exist as waves of probability until they're observed. And I want to connect it with what it has to do with you, what it has to do with your way of thinking, feeling, and behaving in this world, because you can directly influence the field so your life can start manifesting the changes that you've applied in your daily life. And it's way easier than you've been taught to believe, but you need to put in the work, and you need to put it an intention that can be so clear that you can easily call it up and see it in your mind's eye. So what I'm saying is that consciousness organizes energy into matter. You're not separate from this field. You're constantly interacting with it through your thoughts, your emotions, and your biology. So the field responds to your signal that you send out. And if you're wondering how does the field know what to give you, well, here's what science has figured out. Your brain emits electrical signals measured with EEG. And your heart emits magnetic fields 5,000 times stronger than the brain's measured with ECG. Together you broadcast an electromagnetic signature, a signal into the field. And it's measurable physically. Your signal is shaped by what you think repeatedly, so your beliefs, what you feel consistently, emotions, and what you do habitually, behaviors. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to the coherence and consistency of your signal. So just for a moment, what does it mean? Well, it means that your thoughts are programmed, that have been designed by your environment. And as long as you're saying, oh, it's so hard, oh, nothing works, oh, my life is like this and like that, it means you're running in your thoughts. You're thinking thoughts and think that those are your thoughts. And you identify with them because you're so familiar with them. But actually, these thoughts have nothing to do with you. They only run in you because you allow them to. Because every single day you entertain them and you follow their instruction. So each thought creates a biochemical signal, emotion, and how you feel is how you behave most of the time. So therefore, our action becomes the product of our thoughts. And if our thoughts are truly programs of society and beliefs we've accumulated through time and repetition, then a great question would be how to step out of it, how to step out of this old program and create the one that will be supportive. And that's when many people go into affirmations or meditation and they hope things will change. But many times nothing changes because these programs are so deeply rooted and we have these deep emotional associations with everything we believe to be true because we see the evidence of it around us. But we don't really realize that when we look outside into the world, we're actually looking into our own world that we're projecting out. So only when we recognize that, as in shaman practices, if they want to heal something on the physical level, they go beyond the physical level, which is mental and emotional. And if they want to go or heal something mental and emotional, they go beyond mental and emotional, which is the soul. And if they want to heal soul, they go beyond soul, which is consciousness or spirit or the breath of God. And they reawaken light there. So Now, I don't want to take you deeper into your soul or any of that. I just want to remind you that when your beliefs need to update, you can do that by physically changing something, even though it may help when you adapt your environment to a new you, like organizing space that will reflect who you are becoming rather than who you were. It's a great way to symbolically remind yourself that you're already working on changes, but the real change happens when you go beyond the mind. When you become the observer, the objective observer of your mind, so you recognize that how it's been trained to think is not how you want to keep it. Because you notice that it's not supportive and it's not helpful. So you go beyond the mind, and that's what I want to talk today about. But before we go there, I want to talk a little bit about the science of intention. So if you want to change your mind, you need to be very intentional about it. Let's break intention down into real components as studied in neuroscience and quantum biology, so we can really grasp it and know what to do precisely. So firstly, intention means mental clarity. It's the frontal lobe activation called in neuroscience. When you focus on a clear outcome with specificity, your prefrontal cortex engages. This region allows you to choose a future that's not determined by your past. Mental rehearsal then is the practice where you're imagining an event in vivid detail that activates the same neural network as you would be living it. So this is the first part to intention, a complete mental clarity of what you want. So it doesn't need to be complex. It may be just like 1 or 3 seconds of a movie where you would have a segment of a moment where you've just received it, or you just won it, or you just became it and someone celebrates you. Just a quick, segment from a movie of your future where you see yourself already receiving that, or already being healed, or whatever is your situation. And then the second part to intention is emotional alignment. In neuroscience, they call it limbic system regulation. Studies show that thoughts alone are weak unless paired with emotion. When you feel gratitude, joy, or deep trust while imagining, the limbic system encodes the experience as real. Emotion is the carrier wave of the intention. So this is an important reminder here. Affirmations usually don't work because they are not supported emotionally. Only when they are supported emotionally, that's when you're truly sending a strong signal into the field and you're informing the field. And if you are consistent with that information in the field will start projecting that information back into your reality. There's the third part then to intention, which is physiological coherence. And many of you know it as heart-brain coherence or heart-brain synchrony. On HeartMath Institute, research confirms when your heart and brain are in sync, breathing slows, HRV stabilizes, cortisol drops, your body enters a state of energetic coherence. This enhances focus, immune function, and field coupling. The result of this work is that you become a very stable tuned transmitter, and the quantum field reflects the signal through probability collapse. So what does that mean? Well, it means that when you become very stable and coherent, which means your brain and heart will unify in energy field, your thoughts will be experienced through emotions. And when your thoughts are experienced through emotions, and your thoughts are actually coming from your clear intention, you're imagining something that you are seeing as a potential outcome, you're sending the signal out, and this signal is informing the field that creates matter. And if you stay consistent with this work and believe in yourself in this process, eventually you will start seeing some kind of glimpses and what we call synchronicities, that something is changing in your life. And as soon as you start seeing it, you know that you've done it. So how to inform the field? What's the practical scientific framework that this can truly work and be applied in your life? Well, the first step is enter a receptive brain state. So what is that? When you're stressed, your brain is in high beta, the survival mode, and that's where most people are. You must shift into alpha or theta brainwave frequency. It's the state associated with imagination, learning, and neuroplasticity. Techniques like slow, coherent breathing, maybe 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, also called as the box breathing, can help you to slow down your brainwave pattern. Then close your eyes and focus your attention inwardly, perhaps onto the empty space in your body. This will reduce sensory overload that so many people are constantly bombarded with. And the third part to this is non-judgmental awareness, which is also known as the mindfulness meditation. But actually, you just become the observer of the empty space until your body completely calms down, and eventually you will just know that your body has calmed down. The second step then is to be precise of the future, to have a clear intention, which is vivid mental rehearsal process of calling up that intention. So it doesn't mean you're just saying some affirmations to yourself. You have a very detailed, almost like a movie, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds of a certain segment when someone maybe celebrates you receiving that money, or someone says to you, I'm so happy for you that you've finally fallen in love, or maybe your partner says to you, you deserve that money, or something like that. You know, you see yourself in a scene where it already happened. And if you still can't see it precisely, find at least something that will spark you. Maybe it's a sound of the voice, maybe it's touch of that person, maybe it's the warmth feeling, you standing under the sun, experiencing the peace or gratitude. Depends of what you are visualizing. And use sensory memory. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? More you will get vivid with your senses, more real that experience will become, and I will talk later why. So, according to neuroscience, imagining a future experience activates the same circuits as the real event, causing synaptic rewiring. That's where your neuroplasticity starts truly working, and you are reshaping your brain. Now, the third step to inform the field is evoke elevated emotions. Not just visualize it, feel it. When paired with visualization, emotion encodes the pattern as now. So emotions act as magnet, pulling potential outcome from the field. Gratitude, for example, is a very powerful emotion because it reminds us that we've already received it, and research shows it increases brain coherence, dopamine, and resilience. So when you're imagining this scenario, whatever it is for you, more you become vivid with your senses, like what do you see, what do you hear, what do you feel, more vivid will be also your emotional experience of it. And if you're truly imagining something you would truly love to experience, obviously you will feel gratitude for it, and stronger the gratitude, more you become magnetic. Then the fourth step is sustain coherence. This is the most challenging for many people, because people do this meditation or practice and then they end it and they look when it will happen, which means they don't believe it will work. So only when we stay in this new energy, we actually keep informing the field, so things can actually work out. You see, quantum field responds to consistency and energetic stability. That means no emotional contradiction, visualizing wealth but feeling fear that many times happens. No constant checking or controlling. This is challenging for some people. Instead, return daily to the same intention, plus emotion, plus coherent state. Over time, the field responds with feedback. Synchronicities, ideas, and opportunities will just start showing up in your life and you will see it. So you see, it's not about some positive thinking, it's not wishful thinking, it's energy entrainment, it's training, it's discipline we're building. And many times this is exactly what people lack, because it's just easier to return back to what's familiar, to familiar programs of thinking, feeling, and behaving, and believing that that's who we are, instead of noticing that we are actually just an awareness that is constantly choosing. So even if you live a life you don't like, you're still choosing this life because you haven't chosen to change anything. But when you choose to change, you need to stay in that change, not just do it once and quit, not do it twice and quit, but stay in that new change until it happens. So it's like practicing something until it happens. If it didn't happen yet, just keep practicing it. There are so many great scientists today, like maybe you're familiar with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, maybe Dr. Daniel Goleman, or Dr. Bruce Lipton. They're all talking about this same thing, like people in deep meditation can change immune markers, blood chemistry, and emotional regulation within minutes. Long-term meditators have denser gray matter in regions associated with empathy, focus, and insight, which means they've improved their brain, they've upgraded their brain. And people visualizing healing while in hard brain coherence have shown spontaneous remissions, which means they've healed what science called spontaneously. So why does it happen? Well, because they're not trying to force reality to change, they're becoming the signal that matches a new outcome. Reality shifts when your biology and energy are aligned with the version of you who already lives that future. This is a powerful information because it reminds us to stay consistent with a new version of ourselves. And only when you're truly willing to do that, you can really experience some incredible evidence. And I've noticed that in my personal life, like everything that I've created for me, I've created through this work. And actually, when I got myself into the field of manifestation and law of attraction and all these things, I firstly came across affirmations, and obviously because this is the easiest way to do, it never worked for me. Like I've been listening affirmations but still felt scarcity. And doesn't matter how much I've been listening it, I still felt scarcity, and therefore I never truly believed that something can change, until I've started doing these very deep meditations where I became so aware of the empty space around me that I've forgotten about the body, like for 30 minutes or 1 hour, and I've dedicated that time for that future me that was a successful artist, that was a teacher, that was a messenger. And I became so aware of that future version of me that in the present moment I've started living like that new me, until slowly things in my life started shifting into this direction. So I can tell you that this works because I've experienced it. And well, in today's video, you've learned how you can do it too. So the question is only, do you want it? Do you want to do it? And if yes, well, Do it for your future self, because your future self depends on you. And now there's infinite different future versions of you. There's one that's successful, there's one that's maybe even in a worse situation than you right now. There's one who's healthy and thriving, and there's many of them who are not, and you're just choosing. And the empowering part of all of this is that you have a choice. So, my friend, choose out of love, choose out of abundance, choose out of openness, and never return back to what maybe doesn't support your evolution. Stay in what does, and keep feeding it until you become more of it through loving life. My friend, I hope you found great value today, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. One love.